Hello everyone, welcome back to another interview here with Discover Dunwoody. I'm Mark Galvin, I'm the Director of Marketing with Discover Dunwoody. We're so glad you're joining us today because we have another great guest. And this guest makes me a little nervous because she's such a professional. This is Jennifer Boettcher. She is the Communications Director with the City of Dunwoody. Welcome.
Thank you. I'm so excited to be here, and I should not make you nervous.
No, I'm
at all. You're doing great.
Let me tell you why you make me nervous, because I'm afraid I'm going to say Dunwoody as Discover Dunwoody, because Discover Dunwoody just rolls off my tongue.
Right. Well, you say it every day, all day.
It is part of the branding, without a doubt. Well, I am happy that she's with us today because I want to tell you guys a little bit about her. She has a wonderful, many years of experience in media. So you were a news reporter with Channel 11, right? Was it 11 Alive back then?
It was. I worked for 11 Alive for almost 20 years. I was just a month shy of my 20-year mark, and loved it. Before that, I worked in several other TV markets for about 5 years. So I was a broadcast journalist for about 25 years, and it was a great career until it wasn't, and I made the big switch.
Well, that is a great transition to my first question. Why work at Dunwoody? You could have done so many other things. How did that happen?
Well, I'd been at 11 Alive for a long time, and I really loved what I did. I just had so many great experiences, great stories to tell, some very difficult ones as well. And around 2018, things were changing internally at the station a little bit. Didn't feel like I was able to really work to my strengths as much as I had in the past. And so I started putting out some feelers. And I found out about this job, the communications director job came open in the city of Dunwoody. I live in the city of Dunwoody, City Hall.
So you have a big commute to the office?
Less than 2 miles.
It's fantastic.
It is perfect, and I went for it, and I was so excited to get this role and have loved every minute of it, almost every minute of it. It's just been a really good fit for me, and so I love telling the stories of this city. To me, it's a strength to live here because I can hear what people are talking about. I can hear what's important to people, and I experience it myself. And so it's just been a great second career for me.
So looking at the work that you do with Dunwoody, and once I understood the background that you came with, this is a perfect spot for you, because well, let's be honest, when you're in media, you have to be very careful about what you say and how you say it, and you got to think on your feet.
Right.
And this type of role, running communications for the city, there are some things that are sensitive, let's be honest. In that space, there are things that can be, wow, how do we communicate this? And you're able to leverage that background to make that, come across as best as possible. So I think it's a good talent.
Yeah, it's great. I work with reporters a lot, and so I really understand their needs, their deadlines. I understand that the most important thing that you can do is at least respond initially and say, I got it, I'm working on it, even if you don't have an answer right away.
Sure.
And so it really, my background helps because I have a sense for what reporters need, still have a lot of contacts at the stations. And then another part of what I do is we do all sorts of things in the communications department. But we do a lot of video, and I love that. I love taking my GoPro out to the park or to a ribbon cutting and going back and editing it. And so that really calls up a lot of what I learned. I learned so much from the great photographers I worked with over the years. And so when I'm out shooting, I'll kind of channel them and think about what I need. And so it really helps us tell different stories in Dunwoody much more effectively, I think.
Yeah, if you guys haven't seen any of the ribbon cutting videos that the city produces, you'd never see Jennifer because you're holding the camera.
I am.
And right before it rolls, and I've been on the backside of that ribbon cutting, you're very good at getting everybody to understand what their roles are, understanding what to do when, and that is, you got to have a command, but you do it in a way that it's not off-putting. And you know what I mean? Sometimes people can be so off-putting, like, oh, now I'm a little nervous. You're not that. You're able to help people see their roles, and I just simply see all of that media experience come to play there, so it's good.
I'm glad you think that, because I know you have, I love it when you show up for these ribbon cuttings, and I notice that they're always the food ones, Jenny's ice cream, and some of the fun ones.
Right.
We see you and your team. But I do get a little bossy beforehand because I know what I need, and I know, where everybody needs to go. And so, and I think that does come from my prior job and career, in that you would kind of get to a scene and kind of know what you need, and know that you're on deadline, and kind of got to keep things moving here. So I sometimes feel a little guilty about being bossy, but sometimes that's what it takes.
It doesn't feel bossy, just
Okay,
to
good.
let you know. That is very important. It is good, and people need, I've got 3 kids. Everybody wants to know what are the guardrails? Where do I go? And being able to identify that is so important for people who are not used to being in front of a camera. So I think you do that really well.
Well, thank you.
There is so much in the communication space that comes across your desk that you need to communicate. And part of that is knowing what's going on now. So I'm going to put you on the spot.
Okay.
What is going on right now that you think people should know about?
So there's a lot. It's a really exciting, sort of busy time in the city of Dunwoody, and you're wrapped up in all of this because a lot of it has to do with what's happening right here in the Perimeter Center, with a lot of new restaurants that are coming on board, a couple of new developments. High Street is, they topped out for their
So exciting.
Many of their buildings, and so that will open in 2023 with restaurants and retail and apartments and office space. That's super exciting, right off the MARTA line. Campus 244 is under construction right off of 285 as you drive by, hopefully, and not stuck in traffic all the time. You can see the progress there, and that also has this really sort of new type of office space that will come online there, with some retail and restaurants as well, in a hotel.
Sure.
And Ashford Lane is reimagined. Super Rica coming on there.
I'm so excited about
So yeah, great new restaurants. And then the Village, Morty's Meat and Supply just opened. The sort of the Village Dunwoody right there around the courtyard that has been renovated, revamped within the last year or so. It's a great place to be, and so there's just a lot happening in that space. We also are in the middle of our trail master plan process, which is getting a lot of input from residents, and we're hoping that businesses will and visitors will even weigh in. But that will be our first citywide master plan for trails, a citywide trail system.
And trails are so important to us.
They are, in
because
fact.
our guests, our travelers come in, and one of the first things they ask for is, well, can you give me a map to tell me where I can go run my 2 miles or something? And you don't really want them running up the little edge of Ashford Dunwoody. Having an expansive trail system would be great for all of our travelers.
And the best part is that as we're building this citywide trail system, we're about to start a really important part of a commuter trail right in front of the mall. It will start at Hammond Drive. It'll go all the way eventually to Mount Vernon, all the way up and down Ashford Dunwoody. It'll be a pedestrian trail along with a separated bicycle trail called a cycle track. And that will really invite people to spend more time here, to walk up and down, visit the mall, then go up to Perimeter Marketplace, and really use that space more than it is today. So
I just really love it. We walk from here over to Lazy Dog because it is such a short distance.
That's right.
I actually like to challenge our executive director to try to beat us there when we walk, and we typically beat him as he fights the red lights between here and there.
Well, we're making that easier. It will take some time, but the commuter trail will be a really important project, and we're excited to see it kick off very soon.
So we got trails, we've got all the new developments. Anything?
Oh, one more thing I forgot.
read your mind.
We have our first park in Perimeter Center opening. Two Bridges Park will open soon. It will have a splash pad that won't open until the weather gets a little better.
So tell me what a splash pad is, for those who don't know.
So it's sort of like Centennial Park with the jets that fly out the water.
Good.
So it's not
little
slides.
shoots up of the come out of the ground.
Yeah, and for little kids and even some older kids, it's just really, really fun, and especially a great place to escape on a really hot day. And so we're so excited. This park is a long time coming.
It is good.
And it is. It will be. There's playgrounds. There's a pavilion. There will be a really nice walking trail through the woods. It's right near the pedestrian bridge that connects Perimeter Center to the neighborhoods.
That's good.
So it'll be a really important connection, and I can't wait.
I'm excited about that too. And we will have a lot of our travelers end up there. Because we do, one of the things that we bring a lot, we put a lot of attention to our family reunions. And I could absolutely see the family reunions going over there for a picnic with kids and playing in the splash pad.
That's a really good point.
Really nice.
Yeah, that's great.
So that's very exciting. All right. All this stuff's happening. Great things are changing all the time, and we have new developments coming out of Michael Starling's office, which is economic development. How can people learn about all of this stuff? Because there is so many things going on. Is there a good place? Is it the website? Where should people go?
Yeah, well, we have a lot of places, and so that's good and bad, right? Because you don't have always, well, I will tell you the one best way to get the most news is through our weekly newsletter. You can sign up for it on our website.
I love that newsletter.
Oh, good. It's dunwoodyga.gov, and if you go to the bottom, you'll find a link to sign up. You'll also get a pop-up. So it's really easy to sign up. We work on it all week, every week, and we send it out Friday morning. And it has all the news and information about the city. It also really has important information from our program partners, like the beautiful Dunwoody Nature Center and the Creative Squirrel Center for the Arts.
So it's not just city stuff.
Right.
You're bringing in a lot of community items that are coming up. And
yes.
Because everybody, the Dunwoody Nature Center may have, like, I think this week is when they launched their summer program where people can sign up. So that, I believe, was in there.
It's all in there.
So you can learn more than just the city. You could hear about all the community stuff.
Right, we also keep our website very up to date. That's we rolled out a new website a couple of years ago, and so we're in there every week updating pictures, news items, other pages.
That's great.
So we really work hard to keep that up to date. And then also social media is a big focus of ours. So all of our different channels, we do them all. And we even have an app. And in fact, one of my favorite things about our app is you can click on the restaurant section, and it goes to your website.
Oh, I love that.
Where it lists all the restaurants in alphabetical order. So if you are going to meet a friend for lunch, and you're just like, gosh, or especially someone from another city, and you kind of want to show them something special. I do this all the time. I'll scroll through and go, oh yeah, we'll go
That's
here. Good. And so I love that. It makes it really easy to find. It's part of our app. And so there are a lot of different ways to keep in touch. I'll add one more, which is our Dunwoody Digest. It's our quarterly magazine that's mailed out to residents and businesses in the city. I work on it with Kathy Florence, our communications manager. She does all the design work. She's so talented. And it's a great resource. We like to think of it as a sort of a coffee table book, even though it's paper. But when you get it in the mail, it's a good one to keep because you can reference it all during those 3 months.
So it really is designed to have content for the 3 months.
It
so
does.
You list a lot of data in there for people to reference.
Yeah, we have a great calendar at the front, and then we've got some in-depth articles in the middle, and we put a lot into it, and we just want it to be a little bit more than what you can get in all of our other communications channels. We can't do an article in the newsletter, of course, right? Because you want to kind of get through it all. So this is where we can go in depth and really choose some programs to highlight. In fact, Discover Dunwoody is going to be in our April edition. So get ready to be on the hot seat.
Yes, well, it won't be me. We're going to put Ray Zell, who's our executive director, him on the hot seat. That's
Good.
So much better.
That'll be fun.
All right, so you said something I think is important that I want to quickly highlight. Our website lists the restaurants. We are always trying to make that better. If you see a restaurant that's maybe not there or maybe needs to be updated, let us know. You can just go to our website or shoot an email, info@discoverdunwoody.com, and we'll make that correction. I have a real-life example of this. Joe Seconder, one of the city council members, suggested that we list all of the locations in Dunwoody with live music.
Oh, great idea.
And I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah.
So we are working to do that now, where you'll be able to go to our website and say, I'd like to know where I can go to listen to live music on Tuesday night. Those are the types of things, if someone's looking for that, you should let us know. And what's great is you get the app with the city and it will go to check out our restaurants.
Yeah.
So always looking for that type of information. That's really, really helpful.
Yeah, that's smart.
So, in media, there's things like, they're called softball questions, right? And I think I've been
those
throwing
now.
softball questions at you
Okay.
all afternoon. So I'm
Okay.
going to give you some zingers now. You ready?
Okay, I think so.
What do you love about your job?
Gosh, there are so many things. I love that it's here. I love this city. I just always have. I moved here before it became a city, and I just love so much about it. It is, sort of you get the best of both worlds. You get sort of the feeling of a small town, but you have access to everything. Target is right down the road, and grocery stores galore, and it's just, I just love everything about that. And so I love being able to tell the stories of a place that I enjoy so much. I love to write, and I get to do a lot of that.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mentioned earlier,
Sure.
video I love. When I was a reporter, social media was growing stronger and stronger in terms of an emphasis. And so I really enjoyed that part of it, and so I love that now. I love being able, in fact, I don't do a ton of my own personal social media anymore because I do so much for the city. I really, that feeds the need in me, I guess, there. So
I love that you didn't say burned out. You don't get burned out on social media. You just exhaust your interest in it by the time you get home.
yeah, I've done it.
Right.
And so,
Right, yeah, absolutely.
but I do have that thing that a lot of us have, that we want to kind of know what's happening and keep up to date and share things, and I'm able to do that through my job more so than through my personal sites.
It helps that you're passionate about it.
Yeah, it does.
Right.
It does.
And when you're interested in something and you enjoy sharing it and talking about it, it makes your job easier if that's your focus, without a doubt.
Right.
So you know what's next. We know what you love. What do you hate about your job?
That is a hard one. I should have prepared more for this answer. I think, it's funny, whenever there's something that's a little challenging, there is a little part of me that loves it because that's what we do.
Right.
But if I'm, say, stuck in traffic behind due to construction or something like that, I feel bad. I want to know, what I could have done better we could have done better to communicate that. So I think there's always sort of this feeling like the job's never done in a way,
Right.
because being so, I'm guilty of checking email and checking social media on the weekends and after hours. I mean, I think that should be part of my job, but that does mean sometimes, something happens at an off hour that you can't do anything about in the moment, and so I think that gets a little frustrating. It is hard for me to step away and step back. Especially my children are getting older, I have teenagers, and so they require less of me in some ways. I don't have to chase them around the house anymore
Right.
and make sure they don't bump their heads. So it's easier to kind of spend more time doing work stuff, and so I do need to do a better job of stepping back a little bit.
So that's always the challenge with somebody who's doing something that they really enjoy.
Yeah.
Because the biggest struggle is you can't do it all.
Right.
Right?
Right.
It's just physically impossible. You don't have enough time. You don't have enough bodies. There's only one Jennifer Boettcher running around. So,
Thank goodness.
Yeah. So that becomes a huge difficult thing. And honestly, that's anybody who loves what they're doing.
That's right.
They're going to struggle on trying to get everything done. We have so much that we want to do here at Discover Dunwoody. There's just not enough time in a day.
Yeah, that's right.
So trying to parse that out as best as you can is a bit of a struggle.
We all do such a great job, and we love working with you and collaborating, and so it's always really fun. And that's, they're just, another thing about loving working here is that there are great partnerships, at the chamber, PCIDs.
It's true.
There's
Yeah.
a really good We have a lot of great connections. We all like each other, which is great. And then our
Does make it easier.
nonprofit partners, Sproul and the Nature Center, DPT, Dunwoody Preservation Trust. There's just so many people. And at the city, I found this when I started at the city. I, kind of looked around. And I was like, gosh, there's so many smart people with really, with great backgrounds who are working so hard to make this city great. As a just a resident, it made me feel really good about living here, and even better that I get to work with them.
Yeah. Everybody seems to be paddling in the same direction.
You're right.
And it also really helps that this area has a lot to offer. I mean, geographically, we're in a great spot.
Right.
And yes, the construction on the highway has been quite a headache, but when that is finished, it will really enhance our destination. And then we've got Assembly Atlanta coming on board.
Right.
Yeah, that's right over in Doraville, but it's going to draw a lot of people to us because they're going to need to have someplace to stay and someplace to eat and someplace to shop. So we'll get a lot of folks from the film industry that start landing here in Dunwoody because of that.
Yeah.
All of those things, and that's just a few things that are going on. I will tell you, I'm excited about High Street because it will make everything in our area so much better because of all the offerings that are there. We're going to have more people coming into our region because of that.
Right.
And that'll only, we talked about restaurants before we started taping today, because we want all of our restaurants to succeed, and if we get more people coming into these areas, it's just going to make it better and better.
Yeah, it's an exciting time to live here and to work here, and so
It's good
loved
stuff.
it. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, Jennifer, I'm so glad that you made time to come join us today. It is a pleasure to sit and talk with you, but also to collaborate with you.
Yes.
So thank you for collaborating with us today and all the work that you do for the city.
Well, thank you for inviting me. It was
Absolutely.
a lot of fun.
My pleasure. So for all of you, we're always thrilled that you join us here for another episode of our interviews with Discover Dunwoody. I am thrilled to tell you that we have a wonderful crew of people that help us put these videos together, starting with Madison Holtz. She is our producer. We also have Emily Ensor-Gibson. She is with, she does all of our sound editing, and the entire team that supports us here. We appreciate all of them. So until next time, make sure you make some time to go and discover Dunwoody.